Welcome into your Sports Tonight, your Friday and final edition of Sports Tonight.
Special.
You haven't done it as long
This
as
is a historic moment.
but it is the end. We'll tell you what might be coming in the future soon. But let's start with the latest, greatest news in the Atlanta market. Atlanta United has finally found their guy, the next manager. It's Ronny Deila, Norwegian, 49-year-old, who has quite a history of consistently winning, Aaron.
Yeah, and Garth Lagerwey talked a lot about that in the build-up to this announcement and really what they were looking for as far as leadership into this next wave of Atlanta United. It's not just a new head coach, it's also a new sporting director. They're trying to get this brain trust all in lockstep, and Deila comes over with a lot of experience, won an MLS Cup in 2021 with NYCFC, has coached in leagues all over in different countries. You mentioned Europe. Just recently did a stint in UAE. I was brushing up on some UAE footy. So, yeah, it talks and was on Zoom earlier today. It just really talks about being a people person, talks about being a connector and a communicator. And Atlanta's hoping for that to turn into trophies.
So let's hear from Deila as Lagerwey introduced him as the fifth manager in Atlanta United's history.
I'm very excited. I want to thank Mr. Arthur Blank, of course, that he's given me this opportunity, and also that given me the opportunity to work with Garth and Chris as well. As Garth was saying, that I feel we can get good along when we talk together, and I feel we have the same values in the bottom. I think that's important, and it's very important to have success. In my experience, that we have three strong personalities that are together in a big club like Atlanta, and we have to trust each other. We have to work with each other and build something special together with all the fantastic people in the organization. So I'm just looking forward now to get on the plane, get over to Atlanta and start working, because I want to see the people there. I want to see the supporters. I want to really feel what I felt the last time I was there.
Thanks, Ronnie. We'll go ahead and get started with questions. First one here is from Doug Roberson with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Doug, go ahead.
Thank you. This is for Ronnie, but I'm hoping Garth and Chris can also chime in, please. Ronnie, the trophies are the result of the coaching, but why do you think you've been so successful with trophies in three different leagues?
That's a good question. I think one of my strengths is that I'm good working together with people. I think my job is 60-70% to be a leader. To being together with people and lead them, and then of course you have 30-40% with football. But I think I come into the clubs with not so many people that has been my staff. I've been joining in and started working with the people who's there, because it's a lot of knowledge there, and I learn a lot as well. But to create that togetherness and that foundation that you need to get people to grow in the culture and in the group. So that's one thing. And then I think I have a lot of experience with coaching and football. I think my style is very offensive. It's a very attacking-minded style, and I think that's important when you're going to win trophies. You need to play yourself to win something. You can defend yourself to maybe not relegate or keep up, but if you're going to win something, you have to play yourself to it, and then you have to take demands, take charging in the games, and be especially at home. You have to be very, very dominant in what you're doing. So working with that, and also to learn, put demands, be clear to the players, and get people to get the best out of themselves, and that means that everybody has to develop, and that is a constant circle that never stops. So you learn through experiences, and when you get consistency in clear messages and people, then things going forward, and that I think to get with many good people, I've been good at in many clubs.
Thanks, Ronnie. Next question, we'll go to Felipe Cardenas. Felipe, go ahead. And as a reminder, just state your name and outlet when asking a question as well, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, Ronnie. This is Felipe Cardenas with The Athletic. You're the fifth coach in 8 seasons here in Atlanta. There's been a lot of turnover at the head coach position, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different styles, identities, philosophies, etc. What is your way of managing players, and why do you think it'll help this team go from mid-table to the top of the table? What is your management style?
First of all, there's 2 things. It's the staff you have around you, and then you have the players. And, we have also a big staff, so you need to lead both of them. But first of all, for me, it's important in my staff that I have different people with different skills, that we not everybody are the same. And I think that's something, is a lot of skills there before, and something you have to use. And then you need to empower them, the people in the staff, get them the power to make a difference. And that's the way I lead. And then, of course, it has to be allowed to do mistakes. We need to learn from it, because you don't learn anything if you don't dare to try. And that's a basic in development. And same with the players. I think, it's 3 many very important things that you have to create to create development in a team. It's 1, they have to feel safe. They have to know what's expected in the role, in the culture. And 2, they have to feel loved. They have to feel a part of something. And that's my job, to see people, to get them to feel important and to be part of something. And the 3rd one is to have fun. You go to work every day and you don't feel fun or excited, then you are just being there. You're just going through the day. And these 3 things are basic for development. If you come every day to know what's expected, when you know what's expected, you come every day and you feel a part of something, and you have fun, then you use every day to get better. And that's easy to say. It's more about how you do it. And hopefully I've shown in the other clubs, but I have to prove myself again when I come to Atlanta, that I can create that kind of environment, because then people will learn from their mistakes, they will learn from their experience and their successes, and then we will grow from there.
Next question will go to Joe Patrick. Joe, go ahead, please.
Hey, everybody. Joe Patrick here with 92.9 The Game and 5 Stripe Final. I have a question kind of for everybody, but I'd like to throw it to Garth first, which is just to understand how this acquisition came together. And so, Garth, like from the club's perspective, when did Ronny kind of crop up as someone who was going to be available for you? And then also for Chris, to what extent were you involved with this? Did you talk to Ronny before this announcement? I'm sure you did, obviously. And then Ronny, for just kind of how things transpired here over what seems like a really busy last week.
Garth,
thanks, Joe. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Appreciate the question. As you know, we kind of had a dual process that we were going through, right? Because we wanted to leave the job open in case Rob Valentino was able to kind of win his way all the way through. And he was always a candidate for the job. And in the sides, we were conducting an interview process, and we got to know a number of coaches along the way. What wasn't clear, among other things, was whether or not Ronny was going to be available. Obviously, he was working for another club, and eventually it popped free that he might become available, and then we were able to jump on that and to take advantage of it. And we're really excited, though. I would say throughout our process, we were excited to add somebody like Ronny. And you guys have heard me talk about, we really wanted to add a proven winner. And I think when you're looking at Ronny, he exudes that, right? And you guys just got to hear a little bit about his philosophy. And even just right now on this call, I get excited about working with somebody like Ronny, the way he talks about people, the way he talks about building relationships, the way he talks about collaborating, the way he talks about leadership. I think those are all really consistent with our core values. And I think it's really critical as to how we're going to work this going forward. And just bear in mind, I'm approaching now my 18th season in MLS. I have never gotten to hire a coach before. I've inherited every single other person that I've worked with. And so I couldn't be prouder today to say that Ronny is the first coach that I've picked. And I look forward to years of working together with Ronny and taking this club to the next level. We established at the end of last season with that little run that there are some things here that are worth building on. We do have some pieces to move forward with, but we now have to set the end of the season as the floor for where we're going to be going into years going forward. And we think Ronny's the guy to take us to that next level.
Chris?
Yeah, and I had a chance to connect with Ronny early this week. I came in late in the process, and it was an extensive process, but we had a great talk. I think we both came out of it with energy and excitement for the season. What I have noticed about Ronny is, and he touched on it, his connection with the players, and I think that building that trust and having fun and creating an environment where players want to come in, learn, and grow every day is something that wins championships and brings teams together in success.
And Ronny?
Yeah, it's been a busy week. It is. So, I had a great time in Abu Dhabi. It's a different environment. It's a different culture. But, I had this job and I really enjoyed that time. I had a 1-year deal. So it was like a year also to see how it was and then also see opportunity to do something next. And then when Atlanta come and was interested, and of course it's been a long process into this, but that's good also. Then the things are right when it gets done. So now I'm just excited to get started and looking forward to meet everybody.
Alrighty, so we'll keep it pushing. Georgia Tech hoops with a doubleheader this weekend. Aaron?
I'm fired up for this one. 2 ranked matchups happening at McCamish Pavilion on Saturday. It starts with who many people see as the number 1 overall prospect in this class, Cooper Flagg and the Duke Blue Devils. They're ranked 5th right now. Really, Georgia Tech, this is a tough hill to climb for them after their worst start since 1981. That's the first game. The second game, a lot of intrigue. I know that you got your attention on this one. We talked with Nell Fortner earlier today as her number 17th ranked Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets host Nebraska in another ranked matchup, and they're off to their best start in program history.
Undefeated.
12 wins in a row, and look, it's an exciting brand of basketball, too. They're shooting a lot of threes, they're pressing. Like, you're not going to be, if you're a fan that's trying to dive in, it's like, oh, what team should I follow here locally? This one's going to be fun. They're fun watching, and they haven't lost yet.
Look at you, supporting the women.
Of course.
We could sit here and persuade you to watch them, but we should hear from Nell Fortner, who will certainly persuade you.
That's the important thing in this game.
Yeah, it's, turnovers just, they come, it's interesting because you don't want to talk about them a whole lot. So it's like free throws, right? You don't want to really go there, but you just want them to, you watch film, you try to study it a little more. What could we have done better? Let's make sure we're taking better care of the ball. And that's still probably going to be an area of growth all the time because we like to push pace. And so we're going to take some chances that maybe some teams wouldn't take, but you have to live with some of those, but you don't want to get an overabundance of them.
Speaking of growth, you have 4 freshmen. How has the progress been for those 4, and what difficulties have they run into that you've seen?
They've really been a lot of fun to coach. They're a high IQ bunch of kids. They really mesh well with our veterans. They brought a lot of energy, really good energy to our team also. But, they've picked up things pretty fast. I mean, you've got players that have won. They've come in here having won from their high school teams, their summer club teams, and their expectations are high. They want to win, and so they compete every day in practice for their playing time. And it's really, the level that we can, the level of depth that we have now when we go to our bench, the quality of depth is really, it's nice. But those freshmen have worked hard to get on the floor.
I imagine that players like Morgan and Dunn and so forth. They've been good examples for those players to see how the game should be played.
No question. And it's really been rewarding as a coach to see them take that leadership, because when they were freshmen, they played a lot, but they didn't have that leadership above them. So they've had to learn kind of the hard way, and now they've really stepped into a really good space to help our freshmen come along.
What has she added to her game to make that three-point shot, part of her arsenal now?
Yeah. What she added was a lot of hours in the gym this summer. I mean, that's where you get that done. But she's a worker, so she knew she needed to add that to her game, and spent a lot of time in the gym. But we do a lot of player development in the summer, and she worked really hard this past summer.
Play underneath, as far as, on the offensive end, using that backboard, I imagine that's a big issue still going forward. Is that what you're looking for?
Well, I mean, are you talking about our inside game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're a guard-oriented team, and so we like to open up that inside, and we're fortunate to have post players that can shoot the ball, from the three-point line. So it gives us a little different style of play than we've ever played here before. It's a fun style.
Okay.
When you're off to your best start in program history, do the players perk up a little bit more? Do they buy in more?
What do you think? Absolutely. I mean, it's fun. And the one thing you have to remember, I mean, I could stand up here and I could be this, we're not there, whatever, but hey, it's basketball. It's fun. The game is fun. And these kids they've been successful. The freshmen have been successful coming in here. The veterans are hungry to win, because we haven't been to the NCAA tournament in the last 2 years, and they want to get there. And so their lock-in and buy-in has been really good. But we want to get out, and we're playing a fun style of basketball. Look, if you hadn't seen us play, you need to come watch us play, because we're getting up and down that court, and we're shooting the ball, and we're pressing, and we're defending really well. So, but that's the buy-in, because they like the style that we're playing.
You talked about your freshman, Danny. What's allowed her to be so successfal here
Yeah. First of all, she's a great kid. Comes from a great family that just supports her, and has been to every game, as the other freshmen too. We've got 4 really high-level freshmen. Carnegie stands out because she can score the ball really well in multiple ways. She's got a really nice, just a natural instinct to how she gets her shots, and it's fun to watch. But the other 3 freshmen too, they all bring something to the table that's really special. So it's been fun to coach them.
What stands out from Nebraska on tape?
Yeah, first of all, they shoot the 3 ball really, really well. They're gonna put that ball up just like we are. So. And then they'll push you in transition. They can press. I mean, they're really a solid team. But the thing that really stands out is, to me, they've got a really high-level post player on the block, and she's really tough to guard. We struggled with her last year when we went up there and played. She's a lot to contend with, and we've got to figure out a way to slow her down. Can't stop her. You just got to slow her down.
100 career wins. Does that mean so? You stop and smell the roses?
No, like the days keep going really fast. I've just been around really good staff. I've worked with some great people, and I've coached some really, really good players, and that's what it means. It just means I've had a lot of fun and some really good opportunities to coach some great players.
Speaking of that post player from Nebraska, just an observation, it seems like your team has done a better job of doubling down lately, to give help to the person underneath.
We've just had to be creative with our defense and guarding our opponent's block, because it's a tough thing to guard. You're right there at the basket. We're not as big as we've been maybe in the past, but we're a creative staff. We can come up with some stuff.
Anything else?
Thanks, y'all.
I do. It's been a weird year so far.
Obviously, this game before break is big. It's an ACC game, ACC opponent, top 5 team. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to see how guys respond, so to speak. We haven't played well in our bigger games this season. So, the guys been locked in the last couple of days, and, I look forward to see exactly how we come out. We got to get off to a good start. That's the biggest thing. We got to get off to a good start, though.
Is it less important now for Nate to get in the lane now that Jaden's out there and doing his thing? And it seems like sometimes when he settles for getting in the lane, he gets a little bit of trouble in there.
Well, I think that it just helps to have another guy that can make plays. I thought Nate was really efficient last game, for instance. I would like to see him, his shot selection improve. And I've talked to him about that, and get off the ball and play off the ball a little bit, and allow guys to make plays for him so he can get some spot up shots and the different things. I thought last game was great for him because he did that. And his numbers reflected that. You know what I mean? So we don't need him to be great, but we need him to be steady. And I think that's the thing that we've talked about as the staff, and I've talked about to him personally.
Cooper Flag, how do you kind of limit his production? How do you control him? What's your plan of attack with him?
You know what? Mature game first and foremost for a young guy. He's really seasoned in a lot of different areas, not necessarily to the average eye watching, because it's not always about points with him, but he does a really good job of seeing. He has a great feel on the offensive end of the floor. I think he makes them better defensively. So we're going to try to mix some things up on him. We got to throw him off balance. That's going to be the biggest key. The thing about Cooper is that he has a maturity because he's seen a lot at a very young age. And so most things don't rattle him, but I think that he's only had one true road game this season, and this will be the second one, so we're going to look to do some.
All right, dipping out a little early so we can talk some football before we get out of here on the last show. College football playoffs begin tonight. Indiana and Notre Dame facing off. Who you got in this one?
My heart says Indiana, but my head says Notre Dame.
Notre Dame no matter what. Poor Connor Hines is probably going to cry himself to sleep tonight.
This was a big week for the Hoosiers. You got Michael Penix back in a starting role. I know they still claim him.
Well, they have to. They don't have a lot to claim.
Okay. You're just throwing shots. I hope if Connor Watkins is back, he knows that I was on his side. I was rooting for his boys in the heart. But I just think Notre Dame, they got the wake-up call they needed earlier in the year, and they've really bowled through their schedule the rest of the way. We'll see who ends up playing Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
That's what I'm eager to see. I'm eager to find out who Georgia will actually be able to play in that Sugar Bowl. Do you have a prediction for your Final Four?
That's a good question. No, I don't.
Should we do it on the spot?
No. Yeah. I think Georgia, look, they have the easiest path. Mm-hmm. If they were to lose to a Notre Dame or Indiana, that would be considered an upset. Yeah, if you could throw that bracket back
I got
up.
you.
Definitely.
You have to figure out who's where.
Georgia, Oregon. I'm going chalky here if I consider that. I don't really see a lot of upsets in this one either.
Okay, so I'm going here. Let me drag this here. So
I would love to have Boise State in there. Big Ashton Genty fan here.
I would like Georgia, Oregon, Arizona State. I mean, maybe I'm generic for saying Penn State, but I wouldn't be mad about Boise State in there either.
It's fun. They've brought back a real juice that they used to have. Like, I remember watching those games on the Smurf turf and thinking, oh, man, that'd be such a fun environment and not just play on the video game. And now the video game is back and the team is good again. So it feels good.
I would be surprised if Drew Aller doesn't light up SMU.
The really cool part of this whole 12-team playoff is the home games. And now we're seeing the weather, too, on full display. Snow in South Bend, potentially, like that. Games with stakes at this time of year on campus, that's something that we've been dreaming about for so long, and now it's finally reality.
I would love nothing more than Texas to lose at home to Clemson.
Why? Are you just petty?
Yeah. Yeah. No reason except I would just like Texas to lose again.
You gotta fix that. We gotta get that hate out your heart.
No, it's too good. You got to keep things chaotic and interesting, you know? There's enough love going around. Someone's got to be the pessimist. All right, so we have a what is on your mind tonight. Did we decide I'm going first?
You are. You've got the important news to share.
Okay, well, that's not what I'm getting at.
Wait, really?
I asked you if you had Netflix, and you said no, and it was because I wanted to talk about something, but Aaron doesn't have Netflix, so I have no one to talk about it with, so I'm going to talk about it on Sports Tonight.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers' documentary just came out. What
Pass already.
fascinating
I'm
individual.
Good. Pass already. The first 2 episodes were very interesting. And, you know, I've covered Aaron Rodgers. I do think he's really intelligent, almost for his too smart for his own good sometimes. There was a whole part. Okay, you've seen the Ryan Clark beef, right? Yeah, I think I'm loosely familiar. Aaron Rodgers has had so many controversies over the past 3 to 4 years. It's tough to
What
keep up.
happened? No, but really. And it was one of those things of like, I don't like attention, I don't like fame. And here's 3 episodes of me talking about myself. It was weird. I didn't know how to take it. I was left kind of flabbergasted. And the 3rd episode, I have not finished it, but I'm pretty sure I'm 30 minutes, 20 minutes in, and it's all about COVID and his immunized. And I'm just like, listen, we cared then. Do we care anymore?
A little late.
That part.
Day late and a dollar short.
They do take you through his retreats, and it is wildly fascinating. He's also not the only NFL player that he goes to these retreats with. So I thought that was really interesting. Jordan Poirier, one of them, even brought his mom. Anyway, I just have been dying to find someone to talk about it with because just so not a life I even remotely live, and just fascinating watch.
Sounds like you're interested in the ayahuasca retreats, huh?
I mean, I'd do anything once. It's not really my thing. Like, there's a point where he's, like, banging on a baby bongo, and I don't know. That's not really my thing. I don't know if I'd be, like, sitting around with people singing Kumbaya and banging on a drum and shaking a tambourine. But, you know, I would do something once just for the experience. Then I'm probably going to walk away and be like, yeah, but, you know, wasn't really for me.
I didn't see you in that lane. That's a new side for you.
I mean, it's the same thing of like, would you go skydiving? Yes, I would drop out of a plane. Would I bungee jump? Absolutely. So like, I don't know. Like, would you go to a pottery class? I don't do pottery, but sure, why not?
Close enough.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
anything
kinda.
once. You wouldn't try anything once?
Certain things scare me. Needles scare me. That's why I don't have any tattoos
What
yet.
is it with men in needles?
I'm weak.
Clearly.
It's soft.
Like, I've talked to 3 men in the last week who are like, I hate shots. Like, grow up. Anyway, what is on your mind, Aaron?
I'm still very much tapped in on the new SZA album. She just dropped a deluxe here earlier today. But yesterday, went to Jingle Ball. It's like a little concert series they have here. Was not prepared for the 10-year-olds behind me singing Sexy Red every word. But that was interesting.
Is that what they're doing? Jumping up and down?
Sexy Red's got some motion. I was not expecting that, but she's moving things around.
All right, we're wrapping up here on Sports Tonight, the last show ever. Aaron, do you want to reveal to the people what might be coming their way?
Yes, we are working on something new. It is unnamed currently, but the format is in the works. We want to find a way to package up the best in Atlanta sports and give that to y'all, and it's coming soon. Sometime in 2025, we're working on that. Stay tuned with us.
Early 2025,
yeah.
Hoping January 2025.
Sure.
Podcast video form, something like this, but also make it even more sports talky and relatable. So stick around for that. But thanks for joining us on this program throughout the years. We appreciate it. Have a good night.